Hello, and welcome to another video. Today, I am back with a Bloomburrow pre-release kit that I just finished playing with a couple hours ago. So I thought we could look around at what is in here together. And then afterward, I have some prize packs from the event that I played in. And I am dying to know what is in here. So let's open these up together at the end of the video. So, as for the pre-release kit, I think I'll first show you the deck that I ended up building because it is still kind of assembled in there. So, let's look at that first. Then we can mix it in and review everything that was in the sealed pool. And we'll see if there was anything else that maybe I could have considered playing. But yeah, let's take a look. I suppose we could actually take a look at the outer box that the pre-release kit came in first. I held on to it because it had some punch-outs that I thought could be useful for gameplay. But yeah, just to show you in case you are curious, here is what the kit came in. It's in this sealed cardboard box. And then you open it here, where it says A Tale of Paws and Claws. And then I guess there's a little story on the inside. The lush wilderness of Bloomburrow is home to tall tales and tiny heroes. Wielding spell and steel, a brave band of animals sets out to uncover the secrets of the valley. Adventure awaits behind every leaf. So I'll go ahead and pull out my deck here. Oh yeah. And I ended up with the blue spin down die, which I thought looked really nice. Just put the land there. I'm so sorry about the glare. I'm gonna move these down here so you can actually read them. All right. So as you can see, this is a very creature-heavy deck. I only had 4 non-creature cards aside from the lands, which I thought was pretty light. I would have preferred having more removal specifically, but this is just what I had. I ended up casting the Starfall Invocation a couple of times and it was really good. The Driftgloom Coyote was also really good, but otherwise my removal was basically just my creatures. I did appreciate that 2 of my non-creature spells were cantrips, and the other could create creatures. It also scries and gains life, so not too bad. Taking a look at my 2-mana creatures, this one was fine. I didn't really end up using its Valiant ability at all, but it was nice to know that I could. The Steam Path Chargers were alright. The Offspring ability really helped them scale up if you cast them later in the game. The Warren Elder was really good, and if nothing else, it's always at least the threat of activation, so really liked that one. Shrike Force was, of course, an excellent target for any pump abilities or equipment. I had this out alongside Brambleguard Captain a few times, which was very strong. Really helped maximize that extra power that the Brambleguard Captain could lend. The Cindering Cutthroat was definitely most efficient if you could get the +1/+1 counter on it. And the Menace ability was really handy later in the game if your opponent was kind of whittled down. Gave it a little extra evasion, which was nice. The Thistledown players were fine. Just a 3-mana 3/3, which most of the time just untapped itself. Roughshod duo were fine. Really wasn't too hard to expend 4 most of the time, so able to use that pump ability. Hearthborn Battler was great. It is aggressive and punishing, which I love. And then Mabel, I only got to play 1 time, unfortunately. When I did play her, my opponent exiled her pretty much immediately, so she didn't stick around too long, sadly. There are other mice in here that benefit from the +1/+1 that she gives, but she did leave behind Cragflame, which was really nice to have. Really good for equipping Shrike Force or my other flying creature. taking a look at the 4-mana creatures. Seedpod Squire, pretty decent sized flyer, still pretty good late in the game, and plenty of non-flying targets for it. Alania's Pathmaker was fine. I liked getting the extra card, but the 2 toughness was a little bit of a liability. Veteran Guardmouse was pretty good. I liked that it had Scry in addition to its ability. Brambleguard Captain we talked about a little bit. Definitely very strong and was one of the MVPs of the deck today. And then our 5-mana creatures. The Driftgloom Coyote I only played a couple times, but it was always very late in the game and basically enabled me to win by removing a really big creature from the other side. The Provisioner, again, was a decent-sized flyer and had plenty of targets that would gladly take that +1/+1 counter. Quake Tusk Boar, I absolutely loved. I almost always played this one on curve. That trample ability went a very long way for me, and yeah, this was great. And then for the lands, I pretty much only played this one because of the Surveil ability, which was good, I think. And then this one I did end up cashing in for a creature a couple times. I did not whiff at all with this, even though I probably easily could have. But looking at the top 6 for a limited deck is pretty deep. So yeah, there is my deck. My record on the day was 2-1, which I was pretty happy with, especially playing with these cards for the first time. Almost all of my matches went to time in the round, which I was a little surprised for a red-white deck. Probably means that I wasn't closing out games as quickly as I would want to. I would probably attribute that mostly to my lack of removal, and otherwise just knowing that it's a pre-release and everyone is reading the cards all the time, probably playing slower than you normally would. But I had a great time and had a lot of fun, so that's all that really matters, I suppose. Anyway, let me sort these real quick and I will pull out all of the other cards that I opened, and we can look at all of those. There's the rest of my pool. Oh yeah. This is what I used as my Crag Flame token because I didn't have one. I couldn't remember what keywords were on it, so I hastily scribbled them down. And this is the equipment that Mabel creates. Alright, let's look at what I had for the rares. So, we had a 1/3 rat with vigilance that can't be blocked by creatures with power 2 or greater. This one seemed alright, but I wasn't super into it, I guess. This one I would have loved to play, but I was kind of already leaning in the red-white direction, and I wasn't super confident in my ability to splash a third color. But if I did want to play blue, then this one I certainly would have played. It is quite large. I did have some other birds in my deck, but probably not enough to reliably have. So I probably wouldn't be doing those first 2 modes. But I could draw a card which would be great on its own. So yeah, I would have loved to play this one. This one I also would have loved to play, but I didn't feel that my black was deep enough to be able to play black. And I actually did consider splashing black in the deck that I had, because there were a couple black spells that I really wanted to be able to play. But again, I really wasn't confident in my ability to splash anything in this deck. So, also did not end up playing this one. This one was my promo, and also the rare that I opened in my first Crack-a-Pack, which I thought was a little funny. I definitely would have played this if I had gone blue, but I don't know. I was feeling very attached to Mabel, and I didn't really see a way for Jeskai to work. So did not play this one. Starfall Invocation I did play, and it was very good. I did not love giving my opponent a card, but my hope when casting this was that whatever they drew would be less good than the best creature on my board when I cast this. So, seemed to work out though. Hearthborn Battler I did play. I like that it triggers whenever any player plays their second card. Could definitely see this going in a blue-red deck as well. We've got Mabel. At worst is a 3-mana 3/3 that creates an equipment. And if you are fortunate enough to have other mice, then she is a Mouse Lord. Probably better in draft than in sealed, but seemed to work out okay for my deck. So yeah, just judging by the rares, I think blue-white is the other direction we could have gone here. But let's take a look at the other multicolored cards we had. So, yeah, I think there's a decent amount of stuff here that we would have access to in blue-white. I wasn't terribly interested in any of the artifacts that we opened. There is one that can filter mana, but yeah, just took a pass on that one. Green doesn't really have any support from our rares or multicolored cards, but we can look through these quickly. And we can look at our black as well. We do have a few bats in black-white, so maybe something that we could think about. But black is definitely our shallowest color, cards-wise. So there would need to be a primary color, and then this one could just be a supporting color maybe. So, when I was building my deck, these are cards that I was very interested in from Black. The red-white deck was very much in need of removal, so I was looking the way of early winter to try and fill that gap. And then the Thornplate Intimidator I thought looked like a way to try and cut down on your opponent's resources, especially if you can get the offspring. So I was pretty interested in trying to work these in if I could, but did not work out. Red we've mostly seen already, but there were a few cards that did not make the cut. Same story for white. Blue is a decently deep color for us. Looks like there's some pretty viable options in there. So I'd like to try building blue-white here and see what that looks like as an alternate deck. All right. So that is 30 cards, and 8 of them are up here. So we need to cut down on the number of things that cost 5 or more mana. So 3 more cuts. I don't think Veteran Guard Mouse belongs in here. Most things we have that target probably bounce creatures, and that's not really what this wants to do. I'm kind of questioning Tempest Angler as well. I'm usually pretty wary of cards like this in Limited because you're often not running that many non-creature spells. So there's probably not quite enough opportunity for this. Nettleguard I think I'll cut as well. I cut this from my first deck also because I think it's just more of a sideboard card. So yeah, we've maybe got a potential blue-white deck. There's a decent amount of card advantage in here, and a pretty decent top end, I think. We can disrupt our opponent's board. And yeah, I am curious to know what you think of this one versus the red-white deck. So make sure you leave a comment and we can chat about it. But let's move on to the prize packs and see what we've got. I got 2 packs per win for my 2-1 record. So we've got 4 packs to open. Let's dive right in. Cute little offspring token. So we'll just go through the commons. I'll move the uncommons over. Our rare is Valley Flamecaller. A swamp. rare is Osteomancer Adept. Cool. An island. Ew. The rare is Azure Beastbinder. A forest. And our final pack. Oh, nice. 3 Tree City is our rare. That's a good pull. And a swamp. So cute. There we have it. Thank you so much for joining me today for this Bloomborough pre-release kit video. If you went out and played in a pre-release yourself, I would love to hear all about it. Let me know what your deck was like, and what creature types you ended up playing, any standout cards from your deck, and otherwise, if you've booted up Arena and tried out Bloomborough on there, let me know how that is going for you. I am super curious about drafting this set. This set looks super fun to draft and I can't wait to try it out myself. But in the meantime, if you enjoyed this video, I would so appreciate if you would hit that thumbs up button. And please consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't already. And I'll be back with new Magic the Gathering ASMR videos every Monday and Friday. A massive thank you to everyone who has already subscribed. Your support truly means the world to me. And as always, I hope you have a wonderful day.